We launched Casa Viva Church on January 15th of 2021. We started with just a core team of about 27 people that worked really hard for that launch. As of this recording, we are now a little bit over a year and a half. And what we have seen the Lord do is incredible. We have seen over 600 people on attendance on average. 72 of them made it to the baptismal waters. The Lord is moving in such a powerful way. That is what the Lord is doing right now. But it didn't start that way. It started 2 years before that, when the Lord called me and my wife to plant, and me thinking there's no way I'm gonna do this. I remember the fear and the struggle and the anxiety that was coming from the thought of me having to plant a church, primarily because I didn't know anybody. I didn't know anybody outside of my bubble. Did not have any relationships. And I knew I didn't want to do this alone, because if I did this without the support and the love and the guidance of others that have done it and other pastors, I knew I was going to hurt me and I was going to hurt my family really bad. And that's something that terrified me. Through some God way, I got invited to this dinner where I got to meet a whole bunch of pastors from the city of Charlotte, and they were just getting together and hanging out. I remember being in this meal with these pastors, and they were all encouraging each other, and they were asking each other, what's the dream? And I was the one there that hadn't planted a church yet. And I told them, man, my dream is to launch a church in the city. And I'm freaking out a little bit because I just don't have people around me. And I remember this big guy standing from the table, one of the leaders from Carolina Movement, this big country guy. And he just looked at me in the eyes and said, hey, God brought you to the right meal. He brought you to the right dinner. I said, why? And he said, you're not gonna plant alone, and you should not plant alone. And I'm gonna make sure that you don't do that through Carolina Movement. And so I asked him about Carolina Movement, and he started giving me this vision about some network that literally churches planting churches. That it is a coalition of different pastors that come together, and they choose you, the church planter, to just love on you, to support you financially, to call you, to give you advice, to walk there through you, to come to service, to host you and your family back into their churches, to love on you guys. And I was like, this sounds unreal. What's the catch? I said, no catch. We just believe in churches planting churches. And we believe that is how we can change the state of North Carolina. And then all these pastors started loving on us, started following up on us, checking up on us, and some of them decided to walk this journey alongside with us. 2.5 to 3 years later, they're still with us, loving on us, calling us. When we have been down, when we have been frustrated, they have been there. There is no doubt in my mind that if it wasn't for that guy, that pastor, in that dinner, that looked me in the eyes, encouraged me, believed, and pushed, we would not be where we are right now. Not as a church, not as a family. It really has made a massive impact in my life. And if we can continue to do that, if we can continue to build those kind of atmospheres and find those kinds of people that are for this vision and could connect these pastors, I know that the state of our churches in North Carolina will completely change.